If you're Canadian and you don't have a TFSA yet, you're leaving one of the best wealth building tools on the table. Because in a TFSA, your investments can grow tax-free, and you withdraw tax-free too to fund your retirement, a house, or whatever you like. And the best part, it's not some complicated loophole. It's literally built into the system by the Canadian government. Today, I'll cover what a TFSA is in plain English, how to open one step by step, how contribution room works and how not to mess it up, as well as how to actually use your TFSA to build wealth long term. Let's get into it. A TFSA stands for tax-free savings account, but it's honestly better thought of as a tax-free investing account. And here's the key. A TFSA is not an investment by itself. It's a container. Inside that container, you can hold things like stocks, ETFs, mutual funds, bonds, and more. The CRA, the Canada Revenue Agency, basically says that any growth you earn inside your TFSA, whether it's capital gains, interest, or dividends, can be tax-free. And you could take that money out at any time, hassle-free, and use it for anything you like, a house, retirement, or whatever matters most to you. Now, let's talk about why the TFSA matters and can save you thousands of dollars with a simple example. Say you invested in Shopify in 2017 at $5.77 a share, and you bought 100 shares. It closed at $221 a share on December 31st, 2025. Now, let's say you want to sell all of it. You did this outside a TFSA, your taxable gain would be around $10,700. Let's use a simple example of a 40% marginal tax rate. You pay around 40% of that $10,700, which is roughly $4,300 in taxes. But if that same investment was inside your TFSA, you'd pay $0 in tax. That's the power of the TFSA. In this one simple example, you keep an extra $4,000 by just using the right account. So before we get into the rules, here's the takeaway. If you're investing long-term in Canada, your TFSA is one of the best places to do it. And before we start, if you want a simple way to track your TFSA contributions, withdrawals, and portfolio growth, check out the finance tracker that I personally use at maplebudget.com. It's linked below, and it makes this stuff way easier to stay on top of. Now, who can open up a TFSA? To open a TFSA, you need a valid SIN, you need to be a tax resident in Canada, and you need to be 18 or older. If you're under 18, you can't open one yet. But you can learn the rules now so you don't make expensive mistakes later. And the second you turn 18, you're ready to go. Also, your immigration status isn't a deciding factor here. Whether you're a citizen, permanent resident, or here on a work or study permit, what matters is your tax residency status. As a newcomer, you start accumulating TFSA contribution room from the year you become a tax resident of Canada, as long as you meet the age and SIN requirements. Now, here's the part that confuses everyone, contribution room. In 2026, the TFSA annual limit is $7,000, and you get new room every January 1st. If you never opened up a TFSA, the best way to check how much room you have is by logging into CRA My Account, going to the savings section, and checking your TFSA contribution room there. But I want you to remember these 3 rules because they prevent almost every TFSA mistake that can cost you extra. Rule 1, deposits reduce your room immediately. Rule 2, withdrawals add room back, but the next calendar year, so not right away. And rule 3, if you over-contribute, the CRA charges 1% per month on the excess until you fix it. So here's a quick example. Let's say you deposit $5,000 and then you later withdraw $2,000. You do not get to automatically redeposit that $2,000 right away unless you have unused TFSA contribution room. That $2,000 becomes new contribution room the next calendar year, and that's why tracking matters. Once again, if you want an easy way to track your TFSA contributions and withdrawals and growth as well, I use the finance tracker on maplebudget.com. It's linked below. Now, how do you open up a TFSA? Opening a TFSA is easy. The main decision is where you open it. You can open one at a bank, a brokerage, or investing app. If you want something beginner friendly, I personally like using Wealthsimple because the setup is quick, it's clean, and it's one of the biggest platforms in Canada. If you open up a Wealthsimple account, you can use my referral link down below and get $25 after you fund your account. The reason why I mentioned platform is simple: fees. Fees can quietly destroy beginners. At some big banks, you could pay up to $10 per trade. If you're starting off with just $100, that's 10% gone before you even begin. Other platforms like Wealthsimple have no commission fees on trades in Canada. Now the next question, what should you put inside your TFSA? I'm going to give you 3 beginner-friendly paths. Not the best for everyone, but simple options that are hard to to mess up. Path 1. Set it and forget it long-term investing. If you're investing for 5+ years, consider a broad market index ETF approach, something diversified so you're not betting your future on just one company. This could be something like the BFE Vanguard S&P 500 tracker, which tracks the 500 biggest companies in the US, including Nvidia, Apple, and more. Path 2. I want it managed for me. If you don't like to think about rebalancing and allocations, you could use a managed portfolio where you choose your risk level and the portfolio gets handled for you. Some good examples include Wealthsimple's managed portfolios. And path 3. I need this money soon. If your goal is in the next 1 to 3 years, don't gamble with the money inside your TFSA. Use safer options inside the TFSA like a high interest saving option or GIC, which stands for Guaranteed Investment Certificate, so you can still get the tax-free benefit without taking on a big risk. And one strategy that beats almost everything, automate it. Even if it's just 25 or 50 bucks a week, consistency matters more than timing the market. Now, one more big piece of advice: do not gamble inside your TFSA. This is because your TFSA contribution room is extremely valuable. If you have 50K of room and you take that risky bet that drops your TFSA to 5K, you didn't just lose the money, you also lost that tax-free space to grow your wealth over your lifetime. So be smart about it, keep it simple, and manage on tools like maplebudget.com. Now, quick beginner FAQs that people always ask. First, can you have multiple TFSAs? And the answer to that is yes, but your contribution room is shared across all of your TFSAs. The CRA doesn't care how many TFSAs you have, they care about your total contributions. So make sure you use a tool to track how much you put into each of your TFSAs. Second, should you max out your TFSA or RSP first? Here's a simple rule of thumb. If you're earlier in your career or not in a high tax bracket, the TFSA is often the easiest first priority. If you are in a higher tax bracket and want the deductions that RSPs have, they can be powerful. I can make a full video on TFSAs versus RSPs if you want, so comment down below if that's something that interests you. Before we wrap up, here are 3 common TFSA mistakes to avoid. Number 1, over-contributing. That 1% monthly penalty adds up fast. Number 2, thinking withdrawals free up room immediately. They don't. Withdrawals add room back the next calendar year. And number 3, forgetting that foreign withholding taxes exist. Even though your TFSA is tax-free in Canada, some countries can withhold tax on dividends before they reach you. This doesn't mean never buy stocks in the US in a TFSA. It just means be aware and do your own research. Alright, quick recap. A TFSA is a tax-free savings account. In 2026, you get 7K of new TFSA room. Withdrawals give you back that room the next year. Over-contributing triggers a 1% per month penalty, and the best TFSA is the one you use consistently. Now, here's a 3-step action plan that you can do today. Step 1, check your TFSA contribution room in your CRA My account. Step 2, open up a TFSA with a platform you'll actually use. And step 3, pick a simple strategy and set up automatic contributions to start investing into your TFSA today. If you want to properly track your TFSA, whether that's contributions, withdrawals, and growth, check out the finance tracker on maplebudget.com. It's linked below. And if you're opening your TFSA today, you can use my Wealthsimple referral link to get $25 after you fund your account. The link to apply is in the description and takes a few minutes. If this video helped you, comment TFSA and tell me what you're investing in. I'll make a follow-up video on beginner portfolios as well as evaluating the TFSA versus the RSP more in detail. Until then, I'll see you next time. Bye!